السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أبنائي وبناتي طلبة وطلبات الصف الثالث الإعدادي، كل سنة وأنتم طيبين. خلاص مسك الختام وهي النهاية، إن شاء الله تبقى نهاية سعيدة بإذن الله تعالى. النهاردة معادنا مع مراجعة الامتحان إن شاء الله لمادة الساينس. الحقيقة احترت نعمل مراجعتنا إزاي؟ يا ترى نعملها questions and answers؟ يا ترى نعملها مراجعة جنرال ولا يونت باي يونت؟ الحقيقة قلت ان شاء الله نعملها يونت باي يونت افضل، بحيث لو في حد عنده فيكت في اي يونت ان شاء الله يغطيه معانا باذن الله تعالى. بنبدا ان شاء الله بيونت نمبر 1 موشن force and motion beginning with the definition. انا قسمت اليونت definitions, scientific terms, give reasons. The most important question we're going to focus it ان شاء الله عز وجل. Beginning with the first definition, what's meant by motion? Of course, all you know. Yes. What's meant by motion? It is a change, bravo. It is a change in the object location or position as the time passes according to the location to another object. So, what's meant by the speed? Yes. Very good. Excellent. It is the distance moved through the unit of time or in 1 second. The speed can be classified, such like you know, into two main types, regular and irregular. What's meant by the irregular speed? It is the change of the object position by equal distances at equal periods of time. At equal periods of time. While what is the irregular or non-uniform speed? It is the change in the object position by equal distances at equal periods of time. Or another definition, it is the change in the object position by equal distances at unequal periods of time, and the both are right. The next one, what's meant by the average speed? Average speed, you remember? It is the total distance, excellent, very good. The total distances covered by a moving object divided by total time taken to cover these distances. This is the average speed, which is symboled with, very good, very good, V dash, not V. The speed is V. Yes. What's meant by the relative speed, shabab? It is the speed of moving object relative to an observer. نسبة إلى observer. It is the speed of moving object relative to an observer. So, what's meant by the acceleration? It is a change of the object speed, not distance. Of course, again, what's meant by the acceleration? It is the change of the object speed in 1 second or in a unit of time. By changing the object speed into object position. كده اتحول لإيه؟ اتحول إلى yes, very good. اتحول إلى مفهوم speed اللي احنا قلناه. It is a change in the object speed، يبقى ده acceleration in a unit of time or in 1 second. Of course, we have many types of acceleration, uniform and non-uniform, but we're going only, or we studied already, one type, which is the uniform acceleration. It is the change, increase or decrease. Increase to be positive, decrease to be negative of the object speed by equal values through equal values of time or equal periods of time. Again, it is a change, increase or decrease of the object speed by equal values in equal periods of time. Next one, the physical quantities. What's meant by the physical quantities? Yes, very good. It is the quantity that can be determined and has a unit of measuring in our life. It is the quantity that can be determined, يمكن تحديدها, and has a unit of measurement in our life, ولها وحدة قياس طبعا زي ما احنا عارفين. Physical quantity can be classified into two main types, such like we started. Number 1, scalar physical quantity. Number 2, vector physical quantity. What's meant by the scalar physical quantity? It is a physical quantity that has magnitude only and has Excellent. Has no direction. Very good. What about the vector physical quantity? It is the physical quantity that has magnitude and direction. Both of them. لها مقدار ولها اتجاه. لها مقدار ولها اتجاه. تعال ناخد لها examples ونبدأ ب vector physical quantity وهي the displacement. It is the length of the shortest straight line. You remember? And this is the differentiating between distance and displacement. The displacement, it is the length of the shortest straight line between two positions, primary position and final position. Yes. What about the distance? It is the length, the actual length, very good, the actual length of that of the moving object takes from the start point to the end point, And now, what's meant by the velocity? Velocity, it is the rate of changing displacement, not the rate of changing distance. لو كان the rate of changing distance يبقى دي مين؟ Excellent. It is the speed, but here it is the rate of changing displacement. طب يا مستر طب فين in a unit of time؟ فين in 1 second؟ ما انا استعضت عنها بكلمة the rate. The rate of changing the displacement. Or it is the displacement يا سيدي covered in 1 second اللي انت عايزها. تعال نرجع على important laws in this unit ونبدأ بأول واحد وهو the speed. What's meant by the speed? What is the speed law? Of course you know, and we answered most of it, of our blobs on it, distance over time. Speed, another rule, the change of a distance delta d divided delta t. بس ده لمين؟ ده لمين يا شباب؟ ما هو ده سبيد وده سبيد. ايه اللي يفرق ده عن ده؟ ده اي سبيد عايز اجيبها distance over time. لكن ده regular speed only. ده for regular speed only. يبقى دلتا دي زي ما كنا بنجيب لها السلوب على الجراف، جايين الجرافات دلوقتي حالا. كانوا بنقول ده دلتا دي the rate of changing distance divided to the change of time اللي هي دلتا t. The average speed v equal what? Equal total distances d1 plus d2 plus d3 and so divided total time taken t1 plus t2 plus t3. ولكن ده هو الجنرال law. The average speed equal total distance divided to the total time. The last law in this lesson was the relative speed between two objects. فاكرين كان الاوبجكت relative speed depend on the position of the observer. Yes, very good. If the two objects move in the same direction كان relative speed بيساوي ايه؟ Excellent. The minus between them or the difference between them v2 minus v1 minus v2. While if they move in the opposite direction, it can be get by v1 plus v2. Another laws of acceleration law can be only a yes the final speed minus اللي هي v2 minus initial speed v1 divided to the time which the change occur. Yes, this is the definition or the law of acceleration. It's equal the final speed v2 minus initial speed v1 divided to the time which change occurs. The last law is the average velocity. The average velocity equal the displacement divided total time. The displacement divided total time, and this by end of this law, this is the end of our revision or a first part of our revision in the unit 1 laws. نرجع لكم إن شاء الله مع the measuring units and main give reasons. ما زلنا ولا زلنا مع مراجعة اليونت الأولاني يونت 1 وبنبدأ ننتقل إلى الميجرينج يونتس. طبعا الميجرينج يونتس بنقسمناها زي ما قسمنا فوق في التيبل بتاع definitions، بنقسمها إلى vector measuring units and scalar measuring units. Vector measuring units such like acceleration measured by meter per second square velocity measured by kilometer per hour or meter per second, displacement by meter, force measured by Newton, also the weight. All of these are examples for the vector measuring unit. What about the scalar? The scalar physical quantities such like speed measured by kilometer per hour or meter per second. Yes, such like you know. Time, maybe in second, maybe in hour. While the mass measured by kilogram, length measured by meter, and energy measured by joule. Now let's move up to one of the most important part in our unit that talk about the graph. I think الجراف كان ليها مشكلة كبيرة قوي معانا وعلشان نحددها وقلنا في البداية لو كنا فاكرين يا ترى ازاي بنسمي الجراف. How to name the graph. Let's study some important graphs. We pass through it, such like the first one. Yes, this is the graph of what? Yes, it is a distance time graph representing the straight line passing through the origin point. يبقى ده ايه؟ ده ايه؟ أيوة. It is the graph that shows the object when it moves with a regular speed. طب what about this? On a DT graph. Straight line also, but parallel to the time axis or the x-axis. Represented what? Represented an object move? No, object at constant. Object doesn't move. Yes, another graph represents the object move in regular speed, but on speed time graph. It can be represented by straight line but parallel to the time axis. But if I get a graph, speed time graph, and we obtain a straight line but passes through the origin point, what this graph represents? Huh? Yes, very good. It represents the object move with a regular positive acceleration or uniform acceleration, such like we see. Let's move up to another part in our revision that talk about the give reasons. One of the most, or some of the most important give reasons تيجي كتير قوي في الامتحانات. تعال نتعرض لها ونشوف الموديل انسر ليها هتكون ازاي. Beginning with, the motion of train can be considered as a motion of in one direction. طبعا ممكن ابدل كلمة motion of train، ممكن motion in car، motion in person can be described or considered a motion in one direction. Why? Because the train moves in a straight the speed line forward or backward, but it doesn't move upward or downward. Yes, يبقى the speed because the object move in straight line in one direction, straight line one direction, not move upward or downward. Another question, cars and planes are provided by speedometer. Do you remember speedometer? Huh? Yes, very good. Yes, it is the device that is used to determine or identify the speed of cars and planes. So the answer, to help us in identifying the speed of cars and planes directly. Another question, the object speed increases by decreasing the time. Increasing by decreasing the time needed to cover distance. Why? Because the speed equal, such like we started, distance divided time. So the speed is inversely proportional. تتناسب عكسيا. Inversely proportional to the time. Very good. Let's move up to another question. The speed of a moving object increases as the covered distance. هنا بقى as the covered distance increases. ليه؟ ها؟ Excellent, very good. أحسن. Because the speed equal distance divided time, so the speed is directly, not inversely, directly proportional to the distance. Another question. We say that the object moves with a regular speed. Why? Such like we studied in the definition up. Yes, very good. Because it covers equal distances at equal periods of time. Another question. The car A, which covers 50 meters in 5 seconds is faster than the car B which cover 64 meter in 8 seconds. ده give reason ولا problem ده ولا ايه؟ هو الحقيقة give reason لكن ما يتحلش إلا بطريقة البروبلمز. أنت عارف إن السبيد equal what? Distance divided time. طيب speed of car A because the speed of car A equal distance divided time يعني 50 divided 5 equal 10 meter per second, while that of the car B equal 64 divided 8 equal 8 meter per second. So the car A is faster than that of the car B. يبقى هو give reason لكن ما تحلش بطريقة إلا ب low such like we studied. The uniform speed of a car cannot be obtained practically. قلناها كتير دي. Why? The uniform speed of a car cannot be obtained practically. ما اقدرش امشي بعربية في وسط البلد وانا ماشي بuniform speed. Why? Of course, because the car speed changed according to the traffic or traffic problems. Very good. أحسنتم. Another question. We say that the object move with irregular speed. Why? Because the object cover equal distances at unequal periods of time, or it covers unequal distances at equal periods of time. One of the most important questions ده كتير جدا واخرهم كان السنة اللي فاتت. Physics use mathematical relationships. Physicians use mathematical relationship like graphs and tables in many physical phenomena. Why? 3 reasons. What are they? Number 1, in order to number 1 predict the relation between certain physical quantities. توقع the relation between certain physical quantities. Number 2, understand the practical results. نفهم ال practical results. Number 3, describe نصف the physical phenomena in an easier way. نصف ال physical phenomena الظواهر الفيزيقية in an easier way بصورة سهلة. In a distance time graph for an object move in a uniform speed, it can be represented by a straight line passing through the origin point. Why? Yes, very good. As the definition said to us, because the object cover equal distances and equal time intervals. زي ما احنا أكيد حفظناها نقدر نقول دلوقتي. The ratio dt remain constant in a case of a body moves in a uniform speed. ده ايه ده؟ Ratio dt. ها؟ Yes, excellent. This is the slope on the graph. Very good. Because the ratio dt represents the speed of a car and the car covers equal distances at equal periods of time. While the speed time graph of an object move at regular speed is a straight line parallel to the time axis. Why? Because the object speed remain as the time passes. Remain as the time passes. That means that it doesn't be changed. When the driver of the moving car uses the brake, we describe the car's movement as a decelerating motion. Why? Why we can describe it as a decelerating motion? Because the car's speed decreases as the time passes, or by the time. Another question. The body which moves with acceleration can't move at a regular speed. The body which moves with acceleration, even positive or negative, can't move in a regular speed. Why? برافو عليك. أحسن. برافو عليك. Because the body which moves with acceleration, its speed is changed by a time, while the body which moves at regular speed, its speed is constant. That means it doesn't be changed. Another question on the acceleration. The acceleration is positive when its value increases. Why? Because when the acceleration increases, its final speed is greater than that its initial speed. السرعة النهائية دايما بتبقى أكتر من السرعة البدائية. Another question. It is possible to determine the kind of acceleration for a moving object by knowing its final speed and initial speed. Why? Because when the initial speed is less than its final speed, the object moves at acceleration motion. But when the initial speed is greater than that its final speed, its object moves at a decelerating motion, and we're going to continue inshallah after a while. Thank you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أبنائي وبناتي طلبة وطالبات الصف الثالث الإعدادي، معادنا إن شاء الله دلوقتي مع the final revision but on unit 2. Beginning with the most important definition or scientific term. What's meant by the light reflection? Of course, this is one of the most principles on which the mirrors depend on. The light reflection. It is a phenomenon of the light bouncing off in the same medium when it meets a reflecting surface. This is the light reflection. Of course, light reflection has two laws, first and second. What the first law said? Number one, the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. Second one, the incident light ray, عد معايا فاكر؟ The incident light ray, the reflected light ray, and normal to the reflecting surface of the reflection at the point of incidence only in one plane perpendicular to the reflecting surface. The three things. Number one, the incident light ray, the reflected light ray, and normal line to the reflecting surface only in same plane perpendicular to the reflecting surface. Number four, the incident light ray. What's meant by the incident light ray? It is the light ray that falls on a reflecting surface. It is the light ray. Another meaning, it is the narrow beam of light. Represent the light when it reflects when it falls on a reflecting surface. What's meant by the reflected light ray? It is the light ray that fall or return back from the reflecting surface. المرتد المنعكس من the reflecting surface. So what's meant by the angle of incidence? Angle of incidence, of course, it is the angle between the incident light ray and the normal. While the angle of reflection, it is the angle between the reflected light ray and the normal. Another definition, what's meant by the spherical mirror. What's meant by the spherical mirror? It is a mirror that its reflected surface is a part of hollow sphere. Number 9. The concave mirror. What's meant by the concave mirror? It is a mirror. Its reflecting surface is a part of the inner surface of the sphere, and it converges the light rays reflection. Number 10, the convex mirror, diverging mirror. What's meant by convex mirror? It is a mirror. Its reflecting surface is a part of the outer surface of the sphere, and it diverges the light ray falling on its surface. Definitions that are related to the spherical mirror. What is the first one? Is the center of mirror curvature. It is the center of the sphere. That mirror is considered as a part of it. Center of the sphere هو مركز الكرة. That the mirror is considered a part of it. التي تعتبر المرآة جزء منها. The mirror's ball, or the ball of the mirror, it is the point that is in the middle of the reflecting surface of the mirror. نقطة تتوسط السطح العاكس للمرآة. Even it's concave or convex. What about the radius of mirror? It is the radius of the sphere. That the mirror is a part of it. The radius of the sphere. That the mirror is a part of it. Or it is the distance between the center of mirror curvature and any point on its surface. Another definition, principal axis of the mirror. What's meant by the principal axis? It is the straight line that passes by a pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. What about the second? The secondary axis of a mirror. It is the straight line that passes by a center of curvature of a mirror and any point on its surface except its pole, or except the pole of the mirror. Another definition, which is the focus of the mirror. What's meant by the focus? البؤرة. What's meant by the focus? It is a point of collection. The parallel rays which are parallel to the principal axis after being reflected from the mirror. Again, it is a point of collection. نقطة تجمع. It is a point of collection. The parallel rays which are parallel to the principal axis. I have two conditions here. Parallel rays, يعني these rays fall parallel. This is the first condition. The second one, parallel to the principal axis after being reflected from the mirror. Another definition, the focal length of the mirror, F capital, it is the distance between the focus of the mirror and its ball. The distance between the focus of the mirror and its ball. This is the focal length of the mirror. What's meant by the real image? What's meant by the real image? It is the image that can be received on a screen. The image can be received on a screen, while the virtual image, the image that cannot be received on a screen. What's meant by the lens? What's meant by the lens? It is a transparent medium that refract, not reflect, that refract the light, and it's limited with two spherical surfaces يحده سطحان كريان. وسط شفاف كاسر للضوء يحده سطحان كريان. طيب طبعا احنا عارفين اللينس has two types, convex lens and concave lens. What about the convex lens اللي هي converging lens, by the opposite of convex mirror, of course. It is the thick at the center and less thicker at their tips. Thick at the center مرآة عدسة مركزها أكثر سمكا من أطرافها. It is the thick center and less at it thinner, and it collects the light rays falling on it. While the concave lens اللي هي diverging lens, it is thin at its center and more thicker at their tips, or it separates the light ray falling on it after refraction. The center of curvature of the lens. Some concepts that are related to the lens. The centers of curvature. It is the center of the sphere where its face is a part of it. Center of the sphere, مركز الكرة, where this face is a part of it. What about the optical center of the lens? It is a point inside the lens. نقطة داخل العدسة. It is a point inside the lens, lays on the principal axis in its middle distance between its two faces. نقطة تتوسط السطحين الكريين وتقع على principal axis. The radius of curvature of the focus, the radius of curvature, of course, it is the half diameter. It is the half diameter of the sphere where this face is a part of it, while the principal axis of the lens, what's meant by the principal axis? It is the straight line that joining between the two centers of curvature of the lens, passing by the optical center of the lens, of course. It is the straight line passing between the two centers of lens curvature and passes through the optical center of these lens. What about the secondary axis? Yes, excellent. The secondary axis, it is any line passes by the optical center of the lens except, very good, except the principal axis. The focus of the lens. What's meant by the focus of the lens? It is a point of collection of the parallel light rays refracting from the lens. The point of collection of the parallel light rays refraction from the lens. While the focal length, it is the distance between the focus and optical center of the lens. What's meant by the virtual focus? The virtual focus, it is the point of collection, the extensions of the refracted rays. طبعا we can obtain it by the concave lens. We can obtain it by a concave lens. Again, what's meant by the virtual focus? It is the point of collection of the extensions of the refracted rays by the concave lens. What's meant by the short-sightedness? Short-sightedness يا ترى فاكرين؟ ايوه قصر النظر وده كان من vision defect. It is the vision defect through which the near object can be seen clearly but far objects seem distorted. While the long-sightedness, it is the vision defect through which far objects only can be seen clearly but far objects not seen clearly or seen distorted. And by the end of this definition, we finish the first part in our revision in Unit 2 and to be resumed inshallah azza wa jal. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's going to complete our revision in the Unit 2 and another type of question which is what's meant by. دايما سؤال what's meant by ده يا إما يجي في B أو C. أنت عارف إن الامتحان بيتكون من 4 questions A, B and C. سؤال what's meant by دايما يجي في part B أو part C. تعال نشوف بعض questions كده اللي اتكلمنا فيها عن Unit 2. What's meant by the angle of incidence of the reflecting surface equal 30? Of course, it's a definition. That means that the angle between the incident light ray and normal equal 30. What's meant by the angle of reflection equal 60? That means that the angle between the reflected light ray and normal equal 60 degree. What's meant by the angle of reflection of the light is equal 0? Yes, of course. That means that the angle between the reflected light ray and normal equal 0. And that means that the incident light ray fall perpendicular on a reflecting surface and reflects on itself. Number 4. The image formed by a plane mirror is located at 40 centimeters formed the body. What does that mean? The image formed by a plane mirror is located at 40 centimeters from the body. What does it mean? Yes, very good. That means that the body is located at 20 centimeters from the plane mirror. What's meant by the focal length of the concave mirror is 10. That means that the distance between the focus end of the mirror and its pole equal 10 centimeters. The radius of curvature of a converging mirror is 30. That means that the focal length of this mirror is equal, excellent, 50 centimeters. Bravo عليك. The focal length of a convex lens is 7 centimeters. What does it mean? That means that the distance between the focus and the optical center of this lens is 7 centimeters. The radius of curvature of the face of a concave lens is 10 centimeters. That means that the half of the diameter of the sphere where this face is a part of it equal 10 centimeters. The distance between the focus and optical center of the convex lens equal 20 centimeters. This means that the focal length for this lens is 20 centimeters. Next one. The image formed by a convex lens is real. Why? Because, what's meant by? This means that the image formed can be received on a screen. يمكن استقبالها على حائل and can be formed by the refracted light rays themselves. The image formed by the concave lens is virtual. What does it mean? This means that the image formed cannot be received on a screen as it's formed by the extensions of the refracted light rays. Very good. A person suffers from long-sighted. What's meant by the person suffer from the long-sighted? That means that the person sees the far object only clearly, but the closed object and near object are not seen clearly or seen distorted. The person suffers from the short sight. Why? What does it mean? It means that the person sees the near object clearly while the far object seem distorted or cannot see them clearly. Another part in our revision that talk about the important laws, mathematical relationship. The first two laws, of course, the two laws of light reflection, such like we studied up in the definition واحنا قلناهم قبل كده. تعال ننتقل what's the plane mirror. In the plane mirror, the distance between the object from the mirror equal the distance between image and mirror. The distance between object and mirror from the mirror equal the distance between image and mirror, and this is one of the most important properties of the image formed by a plane mirror. In the spherical mirror, the radius of curvature of the spherical equal double to its focal length, r equal to f, or f equal half r. Yes, very good. Let's move to another part in our vision that talk about the important or uses. احنا خدنا كتير من اليوسز في اليونت ده زي ما احنا شايفين. تعال نتعرض لأول واحد وهو the uses of concave mirror. What are the uses of concave mirror? Number one, of course, it's used in the torch reflecting light, torch, كمان front light of cars to reflect the light, in shaving to get an enlarged and erect image of the face. كمان بنستخدمها في المارين lighthouse that are found in marine ports at the airports to guide the ships, كمان in aircrafts landing to airport guide the aeroplanes. كمان in the solar ovens at it collect the light. Another item that talk about the convex mirror. What are the uses of convex mirror? It is used as a side view of the mirrors on the passenger side of a car. كمان it's suitable for convenient shops, المحلات الكبيرة والمجمعة, and big supermarkets and any other corners where they need anti-thief كمضاد للسرقة. It is used also in retaining of the roads and parking. Generally, what are the uses of lenses? There are many uses, such like number one, in medical eyeglasses either for reading or walking. Number two, the person who fixes the watches use magnifier lens to see the minute parts of the watches. كمان in the war, the leaders use the binocular to follow the battles. كمان they are used in manufacturing of many things as projectors, cameras, and also magnifying lens. One of the most important items that we have many have used, such like telescope. They are used for formation of enlarged image for the heavenly bodies or celestial bodies. بستخدمها لإعطاء صورة مقربة عشان يطلق عليه للتلسكوب أو ما يطلق عليه بالعربية المقراب. يعطي صور مقربة for the heavenly bodies للأجسام السماوية أو الأجسام الفضائية. What about the microscopes? They are used for formation of magnified image for tiny bodies which cannot be seen with our naked eye. While the concave lens, it is used to correct the short side. فاكرين؟ أما convex lens used to correct the long side, and the cataract, the contact lens, they are used instead of the glass to treat the vision defect. إن شاء الله البارت الجاي بإذن الله بنتعرض لكتير من الجيف ريزونز بإذن الله تعالى اللي معانا في اليونت ده، وإن شاء الله نستكملها مع بعض في الفيديو الجاي بإذن الله. Another part in our revision of Unit 2 that the item of give reasons for. Number one, when you look at the mirror, you see your face, of course. So when we look at the mirror, we see our face. Why? Due to the light reflection. The image formed applying the mirror is virtual. Why? Because it cannot be received on a screen. The word ambulance is written in converted way on the ambulance car. Why? Yes, very good. In order to appear in the mirror of the car in front of the ambulance car, written in a correct way. And they can be read by the drivers, As you know, of course, the plane mirror image from one of the most important properties, it is laterally reversed. So it can be seen with correct way. Another question. When you look at the plane mirror, you find that the whole of the plane left hand, which is inverse in real position. Or most people can't write by correct way while they are seeing the reading through a plane mirror. لسه قايلينها فوق, because the image formed by a plane mirror are laterally inverted or laterally reversed. The convex mirror is called diverging mirror, while the concave mirror is called converging mirror. Why? Because convex mirror diverges the light rays reflection, while the concave mirror converges the light rays after reflection. The concave mirror is used for solar oven, or concave mirror is used in cooking by using solar energy to collect the large amount of solar energy in the focus of the mirror for cooking food. Concave mirror is used to generate heat energy. Why? Of course, because the concave mirror collects the light rays falling on it on a point generating light or heat energy. The focal length of the spherical mirror can be determined by knowing the radius of curvature. The focal length of the spherical mirror can be determined by knowing what? The radius. Why? Because the focal length is equal half of the radius of curvature. To obtain the suitable image for you, you should stand at a distance less than the focal length of the concave mirror. To obtain the suitable image. Why? Because the formed image will be inverted, upright, and magnified, of course. And so, to be virtual and upright, so it is suitable. The real image can be received on a screen, while the virtual image cannot. Very important question. Because real image is formed in front of the mirror from the intersection of the reflected light ray, while the virtual image is formed behind the mirror from the intersection of the extensions of the reflected light rays. The convex lens called converging lens, while the concave is called diverge. Why? Diverging lens. Because the convex lens refracts the light toward the principal axis, while the concave lens refracts the rays away from the principal axis. The focal length of the thick convex lens less than that of the thin convex lens. Very important question. The focal length of the thick convex lens less than that of the thin convex lens. Why? Because the radius of the thin lens is bigger or larger than that of the thicker lens. Radius بيبقى bigger, أطول من that of the thick lens. The object that is placed at the focus of the convex lens has not an image. The object that is placed at the focus, افتكر معايا هنشوفها حالا كمان شويه. Focus of the convex lens has not an image. ما عملوش صورة. ليه؟ Because the penetrating ray from the doesn't meet. Because the penetrating ray from doesn't meet and pass through the parallel way at identifying and so and infinity. Number 14, the image formed by a concave lens cannot be received on a screen. Why? Because it is virtual, formed as a result of the intersection of the extensions of the refracted light rays. تعال ننتقل بقى إلى ال short and long sightedness ونبدأ ب short sighted person see the far object distorted. Why? Because the image from this object don't fall on the retina of the eye, but it's formed in the front of it due to the increase in the eyeball diameter and or increase the convexity of the eye lens surface. Some person have short sight. Why? Due to even increase in the eyeball diameter or increase in the convexity of the eye lens. Next one, the near objects are collected behind the eye retina is long-sightedness. Why? Due to the decrease of the convexity. طبعا لأنه long-sighted يبقى due to the decrease in the convexity surface of the eye surface which results more focal length. So the ray coming from the object are collected in a point behind the eye retina. Behind the eye retina. The last one, long-sightedness treated by using convex lens. Why? Because the convex lens collects the light ray, so the image of the object is formed on the retina. Let's study another type of question, which is what happened when? What happened when? Number one, the light ray is incident of the concave mirror passing through its focus. Why? The light ray is incident on a concave mirror passing through its focus. What will happen? It reflects parallel to the principal axis, of course. Number two, the light ray falls on a concave mirror passing through the center of curvature. It reflects on itself, of course, as the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection equals 0. Number three, an object is put between the focus and center of curvature of a concave mirror. Why? What will happen? A real, inverted, and enlarged image is formed after the center of curvature. Number four, what's happened when? The radius of curvature of the face of the lens increases twice concerning to the focal length. The radius of curvature of the focus of the face of the lens increases twice. Of course, the focal length equal half of the radius, so the focal length also increases what? Increases twice. Number five. Sunlight by magnified lens. Concentrating of sunlight by magnified lens on the piece of paper. Why? What will happen? The piece of paper will burn. The piece of paper will burn. The light ray passes through the optical of the lens, the optical center of the lens. It passes on its straight without being refracted. If the light ray passing through the optical center of the lens, it passes on its straight without being refracted. An object is put at the focus of the convex lens. Of course, there is no image formed. There is no image formed. Number 8. A beam of parallel rays fall on a concave lens. The parallel pass through the concave lens and are diverged. And their extensions are collected in the virtual of the lens. The last one, the eyeball diameter decreases. What will happen? The eyeball diameter decreases. This causes the short-sighted of the radius of the eye sphere. Thus, the retina is close to the eye lens, and these cause the long-sightedness. Thank you for joining with us, and to be resumed inshallah مع next part in our second unit revision.